All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming. This is actually our first official Healthy Acts class, so I appreciate y'all coming out, and I'm glad y'all made God's spot. I just want to go ahead and properly introduce Dr. Amy Eliza. She's going to talk to you today about the New Year's resolutions, how we commonly make the goals to lose weight and also, increase our savings. So, go ahead and hand it over to you.
Okay. Thank you all for being here today. I am Amy Eliza. I work for University of Tennessee Extension here in Madison County and teach adult, family, and consumer sciences. This program is called Helps for Resolutions. Now, the information I'm going to share with you can apply whether it's first thing in the year or any time during the year when we're looking at perhaps changing a habit, starting something new, whether we're stopping something or starting something new. And so, when you think about behavior change, which is what a lot of this boils down to when we're talking eating better, losing weight, saving money, or whatever you want to do, when you think about those things that have to do with behavior change. Now, we human beings do not like to change, do we? No. And so what's very important is for you and I, if there's a reason we have decided we need to change, or our doctor has told us we need to change, whichever the case may be, what's very important is that you and I are very honest with ourselves about how we're going to approach that potential change. And so that's where this whole goal setting helps for resolutions comes in. Everybody with me on that? Okay, so very good. If you would, flip on over into the first page of your handout. The top of that says Being Smart with Health and Wealth Goals. Okay? So I want us to spend a few minutes talking about SMART goals. Now, you perhaps are familiar with this, so I want you to look at it maybe with some new eyes. But it's an incredibly useful tool to help us begin to take the actions we need to take to accomplish behavior change. So we're going to spend just a few minutes. I know you can read, but I want to just hit a few high points with you. You'll notice that they use the acronym SMART, S-M-A-R-T. That stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-related. Okay? So with that, I want you to think in terms of being something specific. Now, if I said a set of tires, is that specific? Sometimes people will say, yes, but y'all are a sharp group, and you caught me right off the bat. This is something that's, it's a thing I need to get, perhaps, to be able to get to work, have my tires, new tires on the car. But there's different brands, different sizes, all sorts of different things. And that comes into play in just a minute. Now, you can see on the examples there, a vague goal would be to say, I'm going to lose weight this year. I think it's a better goal when we start to look at the process we need to take to start working on that goal. And you can see that as evidence there by, I'm going to walk on my lunch hour to try to lose weight. I'm saying this is what I'm going to try to do to accomplish that. And better yet, to be able to say, I'm going to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever the case may be. So you get the idea. The SMART goal starts out with specific. What specific thing do I need or want to do? The M is measurable. How many times a week? How much money? You can read on there. We're putting a measurement to it. If I know that I need that set of tires, and I'm going to save up for those tires, because I know it's coming. Y'all with me on that? I know it's coming. I know I've got to do that. Then I can say, if I know the amount, well, how much have I got to save up for my tires? So you see where being specific is very helpful to us in that way. The A is attainable. Is it possible for me to do this? Now, going back to our example there, if I said I'm going to walk Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 3 days a week, but I know I have a meeting every Thursday on my lunch hour, now you'd say, well, Amy, it's silly for you to say you're going to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. But how many times do we say, I'm going to do something knowing more or less it may not happen? How many times do we do that? Fairly often. So we need to think in terms of what is attainable, what is possible. Maybe I need to say I'm going to walk 2 days a week, whichever 2 they are, and then I need to put it on my calendar or I won't get it done. Okay, everybody with me so far? Okay, that's the attainable. Is it possible for me to do it? A great example would be to say I'm going to save some lofty amount of money, knowing that's not going to fit into my spending plan. Okay, but we do those kind of things. We say, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by next month. Well, I know some people who have taken drastic measures, but that's not attainable for most of us unless we do something drastic, and I'm not even going to get into the drastic things and the good, bad, right, or wrong of that. So R is relevant. Is it important to you? You know, sometimes someone gives us a goal or something we need to do. I know many people that until they have the heart attack don't do what the doctor has suggested for them or the dietitian because for whatever reason it wasn't relevant. Y'all with me there? That's a great example, I think, of, you know, you may even know, well, I need to do it, but until it really applies to your life for whatever reason, you don't get with it. So then finally, T is your time frame. By when do you need to save the money for the tires? By when do you need to have lost the weight, etc. and so on? Everybody kind of see there how the SMART really helps us get some things going here. I kind of call, when I have written down this kind of SMART goal, then I can begin to look at my to-do list for that goal. What things do I need to do to begin to accomplish that? Because you'll notice if you looked at the measure part, the attainable part, those all, if we really think through those, will give us some good ideas of what we need to do. Now, at the bottom, in the middle of this page, you'll notice a little circle here. And because a lot of people the first part of the year would like to lose weight, it's not everybody needs to, and just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy, so I'm not promoting that idea here. But several years ago, my son, as a 7th grader, got called fat. He's 19 now, and he's a skinny child. I don't know that means he's healthy, but he thinks so. But when he was in the 7th grade, he got called fat. Now, that's an age where boys fluff out as they're about to get taller. Well, he kept fluffing. And so I would say just make better food choices, exercise more, knowing and I told him, you're going to look different when you get taller. You may weigh the same amount. Well, that didn't matter to him. I teach nutrition, so he took a few things that Mom had been telling him. Now, he'd been trying to do these gimmicky things of do 10 sit-ups and then do this and that, you know, those things. And he didn't lose any weight, and he was not happy. And every night we talked about it till Mom is about sick of that conversation. You know how our children do. But one day I shared something with my son that made it all different. And so I share it with you here, more or less. You see, if a person wants to lose 20 pounds, 1 pound is 3,500 calories. Now that's not on there. I did have you a little math that help you figure it out. 1 pound is 3,500 calories. When I told my son that, losing weight became a math problem. Now he had a very strong desire that's a little difficult for us adults, but you know, he wanted to do it that badly. So I say to you today, 20 pounds times 3,500 calories is 70,000 calories. It's not some mystery. It's not a mystery. And that was the thing to my son when I made losing weight a math problem and no longer a mystery, then he could be more specific in what he needed to do, the actions he needed to take. He needed to take in less, burn off more, or some combination of the two. Okay? So if, for example, a person wanted to lose 20 pounds in 26 weeks, which is about a pound a week, and that's something that is, we believe, a safe, sustainable thing, because if you do it over that amount of time, you're going to have to learn some new habits, okay? It's not somebody just saying take this pill or do that or whatever. You're having to make some changes. So that means that you will have to burn off or take in 2,692 less calories a week. It's a math problem. Not saying it's an easy math problem, but you have to actually do it. The same thing applies. If I know I need that set of tires in 26 weeks, I know how much they are. I can divide per pay period, the number of pay periods, and that's how much money I need to save or change my spending. Doesn't mean I have to, revolutionize everything, but I teach the fact that people need to write down their spending plans, and when they have one, and they say, well, I need to save this money, where will it come from? If I have a written spending plan, then I can go, okay, well, here's a couple of things I can do different for that 6 months to have that money without having to just go, how am I going to do it? How many times has losing weight or taking on some new habit been, how am I going to do it? Okay? So that's what I want us to spend a little bit of time on. If you'll flip over there, the next page, there's some bars across there with some questions, and I want us to walk through these together. I hope you have something to write with so that you can go through these and write down your own notes. First of all, what is a general idea of something that you need or want to do? Does it have to do with saving money, losing weight, getting your blood pressure down? Those kind of things. Maybe you came today and that's something you're okay with all that. Maybe you want to take up a habit of reading more books or something else. That's okay too. Whatever applies to your life. So take a minute and do that. Yes. Yes. Come on down. Tiffany, would you hand them some in the back? Thank you. Then the next thing you'll notice there, it says be specific. Give it some details. Write a little bit about how you're going to do it or what you think might work. Then write down anything else that might help this to be a more tangible thing for you. Perhaps that means, here's going to be my reward. And reward does not equal food. Okay? I have that written in here further on down, but maybe it's a new book to read, a new pair of running shoes, something else. That fourth bar says measure it. How many times a week are you going to do an action to work toward your goal? How far will you go? How much money will you need to do that? Put a number to it. Whatever applies to what you wrote down. This is very individual. Possibly one of the most important things that you need to do in thinking through this is to think about your obstacles to accomplishing that goal. What problems may you face? What obstacles will you have to overcome? And let me say, the next part is what's important. What are your potential solutions that you may have to that? And folks, let me say, this is where the rubber meets the road to accomplishing anything that we want to do. It's probably not sufficient to have the plan A solution. You've got to have it. But you probably also need plan B and plan C and maybe even plan D. Because chances are that first idea may or may not work out for you. Let me give you a very silly example, but it still applies to health a little bit. A long time ago, I needed to drink more water because I was having sinus problems. The office where I work in has a lot of mold and stuff like that. My plan A, was I was going to get a cup, and I was going to fill the cup with water from the water fountain that was just right outside my office door, okay? 10 steps or less away. That was my plan. It didn't work to really getting me to drink more water all the time because I go out and do programs. So my cup didn't have a lid on it, and so I'd leave it there. Then my next step was, well, I'll buy water, bottled water, and I may refill it, even though there's questions about whether that's really hygienic or not. And I started doing that. And then over time I said, I need to quit buying this bottled water. But I was in the habit of drinking water. I wanted to drink water. And so this was a good investment for me. I had to kind of make sure it was going to work. And now I could take a big old swig of this, but I won't do that. So that's why I say plan A, plan B, plan C. Okay. And then finally, by when do you need to or want to accomplish that goal? So if you flip on over, and I will tell you all, you may want to come back to that. You may then want to write yourself what I call a to-do list for your goal. What do I need to do to start figuring this out? Because you wrote it down today, but you may not know your process or what the possibilities are. So you'll notice here with overcoming obstacles, first of all, we've got to get our action plan. Consider a to-do list. Get good information to help us weigh the options. Make sure it's reliable information. But I tell you, we can almost hurt ourselves as much by gathering too much information. And it overwhelms us, and we just get frustrated. Sidetrack shortages of time, money, or other resources. We have to weigh out our options of how we're going to work toward things, like my bottled water. That didn't, money and drinking water don't exactly relate, but a lot of things that we need or want to do, there is a cost to them, so we have to look at those potential costs. The next thing there, work on your attitude. Attitude is everything. I probably should have put this at the top. Do you really want to succeed at this? That picture, they say if you're wanting to lose weight or needing to, picture yourself being thinner, what you would feel like, what that would be like. Because you see, if we keep on the mode of, well, I'm going to start that next Monday, or I'm going to do that when this or that, we'll never get started. We stay in procrastination mode. The other side I would say to that is, a lot of times people say, oh, I messed up today. I ate something I shouldn't have. I didn't get to exercise. Well, that doesn't mean it's okay to throw in the towel. If we're serious about that goal, we don't have to wait till Monday. That keeps us procrastinating. We get back on the horse and ride it the next day, okay? And don't beat ourselves up for messing up one time. Years ago, when I went back to school to get my doctorate, I didn't have much time to exercise. And I was going to be sitting and, not exercising and sitting and wanting to eat munchy food. You know that what that does to you. But rather than, just saying, well, it's just going to happen, I can't worry about it, or beating myself up because of it, I chose to find those times when I could take a few extra steps, do a little bit extra. If I had to go to Walmart, even though I was in school and a single parent, I had to go to Walmart or Target or wherever and buy things. So I always parked as far out as I could. It might take me an extra 30 seconds or a minute. But that was a few more steps. So we always have to not discount little changes or little things that may help us. That, if you save up coins in a jar at the end of the day, does it add up? Anybody do that? It adds up. So those calories we burn off, if that's what you want to do, burn off. So finally there, get support or guidance. And that's the kind of thing the hospital is doing with your Healthy Heights program. Other people, some of you came in today together. You're doing perhaps new healthful things for yourself. So I have some things I want to share with you all today. If you'll hand out the bags first, I don't know if we're going to have time to do this. I'm going to hand out, or Tiffany's going to hand out to you all some packs that should have 8 beads and a piece of white cord in them. And we'll do that at the end in case some of you need to leave. But what these are is water beads, and these will help you count how much water that you have consumed. You'll notice here on the page that says helping yourself, we talk about accountability. Sometimes it's accountability to someone else, such as this program. Sometimes it's helping us keep up with it ourselves. So that's what the water beads can do for you. You can use these to count how much water, how many glasses of water. I'm not going to get hung up on if it's 8 ounces or whatever, but you could also use this to count laps around this or that, whatever you want to do. And they have a hook so that you can hook them on, and actually there's a little space here and they'll slide. So if a few of you wanted to stay and learn how to do it and then share it with friends, you'll at least have them, okay? So we don't have time to actually make them today unless you all want to hang around. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you all. The other thing is there's a lot of online apps and programs that can help you. The one that works for your friend may or may not work for you. Find what works for you. The next thing there is encouragement. Focus on positive enforcers. What are the things that are going to help support me and what I'm choosing to do? Now, I have a couple of things listed there. A couple of them have to do with Facebook pages. I know you may or may not do that, but there's two things I have that I'm doing that can help you as an encourager. First of all, you'll notice there I've got Facebook.com Half Plate Challenge, okay? The Half Plate Challenge is to encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables, okay? That's a big promotion that I'm doing this year. So if you went to that page, you can get ideas, recipes, or what have you about relative to eating more fruits and vegetables. I will tell you, there was a lady that did this. She had started doing it, was drinking more water. She lost 6 pounds in a week. Now, I don't advocate that. It was a lot of water loss, but it gave her a charge to get started. Okay, the next one I wanted to list there is on the other side. It's on the money side. You'll notice I have Facebook.com/PFMME. Everybody see where that is? That's one related to money. PFMME stands for Personal Financial Management Made Easy. Okay? So that's another page that I have. One of the things I would encourage you, maybe you're not here concerned about the money part. Maybe you're all savvy and secure. But I encourage you, even if you're savvy and secure financially, to go and like that page if you're on Facebook, because people may know that you're secure and savvy, and if you're on there, it's okay for them to be on there, when otherwise, I will tell you, people would come there talking about their sex lives than their money, okay? So, it's okay to try to look at this whole idea of gaining new confidence with our finances, even if you're doing all right. So that's something I wanted to share with you. The other thing there that I wanted to share, right below PFMME, you'll see it says Get Online, Get On Track.wordpress.com. That is a blog that I have started. It's all relative to wise money management. I started this about 6 weeks ago, and am using stories from my life to help share some stories to help people think about being financially savvy. It also has a link to the online course, Personal Financial Management Made Easy. That includes a lot of great information to help people. Maybe you're needing to work towards some new goals with your finances, and so it's all about helping people work toward those goals. It includes that kind of information we talked about today, but a whole lot more as well. Okay? So the habit formation thing, small changes add up, is where I share the information with you about the Half Plate Challenge. What the Half Plate Challenge is, 28 days, they say to change a habit, form a habit, 21 days up to 6 weeks. Tiffany, if you want to start handing out those other handouts, I do have some nutrition information that you're welcome to take, and if you don't need it, you can leave it on the table and I'll pick it up at the end. But in terms of Personal Financial Management Made Easy, it's an online course, it's free, it's confidential. You can sit down and do it all in one evening. It would take maybe 3 hours, or you could do it over time. There are some questions and quizzes in there, and that's just to help you assess what you learned and did you get it. And usually those are things that are pretty important. So while she's passing those out, I can take another one, Tiffany, and help you get them passed out. If you all, as you begin to look at those, have a question, please ask them. Let me show them one thing using yours. If you need to know how many calories you need to consume to maintain where you are, maybe you're just wanting to maintain, but be healthful. Inside here, there's a place for you to look at how active or sedentary you are, your gender, and your age, and it will tell you how many calories you need to consume, as I said. You can flip over to the inside, and that tells you how much. Okay, a few people are pulling out their beads and things, so I'll do that very quickly. Tiffany, if you'll take care of picking up the other sheets, we'll do that real quickly. But if you're not interested, you don't have to say. It's all right. You will not hurt my feelings if you need to get back. I understand. If you'll take your cord, fold it in half, putting the ends together or close together, and tie a knot. Just loop it over itself, maybe a half inch or an inch from the end. This is so that you could put it on a keychain or something like that if you wanted to. Like this. Okay, you're going to just fold it in half and tie a knot on the other end. Okay? Looping this in. Okay? Once you get that knot, tug it down because this you needs a little help to stay put. Once you have got your knot in the end, you're going to take a bead, and you should have 8 beads. Sometimes we got crazy and didn't get them all done. But you're going to string that bead through either side. So I'm going to put a cord in one side and another cord through the other side. Okay? And then pull it down like that. And so your bead, if you kind of adjust it a little bit, it should kind of be standing on end, kind of like that. Okay? If you'll just kind of adjust it a little bit, like that. So it's kind of standing. And then you'll just string the other beads on it. And what you'll do at the end is tie a knot at this other end. So it's got some room for the beads to slide, and then you can count. Okay? All right. So you'll get it kind of standing on end, like that. Now what you're going to do is hold your bead. We're going to string it through either side and pull it down. And then just kind of straighten it up. Okay? And then you string the rest of them on there. Okay? Just pull it down. Okay? Okay, what you'll do is take your bead and string either end through either side of it. How y'all doing over here? Okay. What you're going to do, okay, you've got it. Just straighten your bead up, though, like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just straighten it up so it's kind of standing up, and then put the others on there. Yeah, you sure are. Okay, so what you're going to do is string the bead. Okay, you need to string, oops.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. You're going to string it either side. Okay?
Like this.
Like that and like that. And then you pull it down.
Oh,
And then,
again.
did you see that? Yes, exactly right. You don't have to leave much room at all, but you're not worried about getting them tight. Because what you'll do once you get all 8 of them on there is then you're just going to tie another knot at the other end so you can move them. Okay? If you all have any questions, my email address is on the front, and you are free to email me if you need any other assistance with anything. I thank you all for coming today. Hopefully this has been very useful to you all in whatever it is that your goal or change that you need to make may be.